Welcome back inside the Brogan Hillman Show. Today we have myself, Brogan Hillman, and we have these two. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yo, it's Connor.
My name is Logan Emsley.
Very well then. Episode 8 of the actual Brogan Hillman Show, the podcast, and we have a good one. We got first-year head coaches. We got some sneaky NFL playoff teams to watch out for this year, and we have a little bit of viewer hot takes. If you want your hot take reacted to, make sure to comment down below or follow the socials to go let me know there. But let's get right into it. Let's not waste any time. We have some first-year head coaches we're going to rank and just go over. How are we feeling about these first-year head coaches, boys? What do we think about these head coaches going into their first year?
I think there's like a lot of good head coaches coming in, like the rookie ones. I'm so excited to see Jim Harbaugh come in. Do the Chargers play the Ravens this season?
I think so.
That's
Yeah,
gonna be
yeah,
that's,
yeah.
that's gonna be a
They
good
do.
game.
Yeah,
But
I do think so. Yeah, the brother matchup again. I think I think the Chargers are gonna be good this year. I think Harbaugh's gonna have them. Yeah, they play. That might be Thanksgiving or the week of Thanksgiving. It's Chargers are gonna be a very interesting team. I mean, he's in a cast right now, not a cast, but he's in a walking boot right now. Some plantar fasciitis issues, but that should be nothing by the time week 1 rolls around. I'm not sure how they're gonna stack up in that AFC West, because there's another rookie head coach in there. And then obviously the Broncos aren't going to be exactly where they need to be this year. Chiefs division to win for like the 90th year in a row. I think Chargers are going to come in second in that division pretty handily. They're a team that's going to bounce back a lot from last year. And I honestly have them finishing around the 10-7, 11-6 range. I think their ceiling could honestly be AFC West champs. If they play their brand of football, that Harbaugh brand of football, obviously coming off a national championship. It's a whole different ballpark. But he's a guy that has experience before, obviously brought the 49ers to a Super Bowl, played against his brother in Super Bowl. I think they could be right in their contention to win the AFC West title.
yeah, I think so too. Because I think the Chiefs they're gonna split the series with the Chiefs this year. Like they're gonna get one game out of the Chiefs at least.
I could see that. I mean, it's division games always play close. So I could definitely see that. I mean, some other good guys on this list, like Dan Quinn taking over the Commanders. Commanders are not even in that bad of a situation this year, especially with a defensive mind like Dan Quinn coming in and controlling some of those key pieces. They could also be a very interesting team to watch this year. I mean, I'm very excited to see Jaden Daniels. I want to see how he develops. He's definitely one of my favorite quarterback prospects. I had him over Caleb Williams coming into the draft. So I think Jaden Daniels is going to be very interesting in that Commander squad as well.
Me personally, I'm excited to see Mike McDonald. We've seen him with the Ravens, we've seen him with Michigan. I already see what he does here in Seattle. We've seen him on the defensive side now as head coach for Seattle.
Yeah, you got the Dolphins too much in your mind. You try to think Mike McDaniel over there, buddy.
Shut up, bro.
I like Raheem Morris. I think he might carry the Falcons to something big because that's a very easy division to win, and I feel like the Falcons could easily, like with Raheem Morris coming in, I feel like they could easily pull out that division.
No, yeah. I like the Falcons a lot too this year.
Especially with like the usage he's gonna do with like what's his name? Bijan Robinson and like
Yeah, that guy.
they got a good receiving core too.
I don't know. Connor and I have been in the same fantasy league for like 5 years now, so I'm gonna try to snatch up Bijan before he can go.
Oh, that's why.
But
Yeah, okay. I
but
mean,
I mean, they said they're gonna use Bijan a lot this year. They said he's
yeah,
a pivotal part of the offense. He's gonna get Christian McCaffrey type touches.
Mhm.
So I want to get
that's good to
order up
know.
in the draft. Yeah.
It's good to
Hey,
know.
as long as I pick before you, that's all I care about in the draft. So that's all right.
All right.
I think I think the coach that has inherited the worst situation, I don't even think it's Dave Canales, honestly. I think the coach that has inherited the worst situation is Gerard Mayo.
Mm-hmm.
You take over with a crazy quarterback situation going on because apparently, I mean, there's talk like this in camp every single year, but Joe
Yeah.
Milton is outplaying Drake May in
Mm-hmm.
training camp currently. So that asks your questions: do you start your sixth rounder over your top 3 pick in the draft, or do you let the top 3 picks sort of start off the year knowing that he has hype around him? You have to start him for that fan base. Also, you're coming in and coaching after a legendary Bill Belichick and that stint. the expectations are going to be high for you. I mean, you have to meet those expectations. Your defense is not where it needs to be. Your offense is not where it needs to be. Nothing is falling into place for you. And you're in a very tough division, probably one of the toughest divisions in the NFL. You have the Bills, playoff contender, Dolphins, playoff contender, Jets, playoff contender, and you're looking at another 3-14 season right down the barrel. He's in a very tough situation.
Yeah. I think you have to start. I feel like you have to start your first round pick. Like even like no matter how good Joe isn't Joe Milton, right?
Joe Monia.
Yeah. How good he's doing in practice, I feel like you have to start your first round pick. And I guess if he does bad, you got Joe to put in. But I'm into TikTok a lot, and I seen that like Joe Milton's always like had a past of being really good in practice, like with his other teams in college. And I saw a TikTok, I forget the dude's name, but you know the Michigan, he's like a defensive lineman or offensive lineman. He like retired like after the
Oh,
draft.
Trent
Yeah.
Jones. Yeah, Trent
Yeah,
Jones.
he was like, yeah, I witnessed him. He's like actually one of the best practice players I've ever seen before. I saw him comment that on someone's post. So maybe it's just a practice thing for Joe.
That's true. It's true. It's easy to throw on air. It's a whole different situation actually having pressure on you. So he can definitely launch it, but he's not accurate at the time. So
Yeah.
yeah, it'll play out to Drake May's favor, most
Mhm.
likely. We'll see Drake May on the field week 1 and probably the whole season. I like Drake May coming out of UNC.
Yeah.
He raised some questions with me on his, I don't want to say his playmaking. He's a great playmaker, but sometimes his decision making, like he would run around in the pocket for a lot longer than he should have sometimes. He would throw some crazy passes. They worked out. He has great targets in UNC. JJ Jones, shout out JJ Jones being one of them. But he threw a lot of interesting balls. They worked out in his favor because it was college. I don't know if he makes those type of plays in the league if they're going to actually work out into his favor or not. He might have some rude awakenings. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Drake May in a Peyton Manning rookie year type situation. He comes out and he throws 30 picks, 25 picks.
Yeah.
There's just an adjustment to get used to, especially when you're a guy that's used to making some questionable passes. Some of those are going to be taken with a grain of salt against those DBs in the league, and he could have a rude couple weeks awakening in the NFL.
I saw Drake May playing in real life against the Hurricanes, the Miami Hurricanes, in October last year. He was really good, but he like threw like 4 touchdowns to this receiver. I forgot his name though. It was like the star receiver on UNC. I have no idea
Yeah,
what his name is, but Drake May was pretty good in person.
another guy, I mean, Antonio Pierce. When I look at this Raider squad, there is a lot of promise. I wouldn't say they're going to be anything extraordinary. I don't think they're going to be a playoff team this year, but I think there's a lot of promise with that team. Aiden O'Connell is a guy at quarterback. I think he can get the job done. I think he has a higher ceiling than most people realize. He was a stud at Purdue. He played, I don't want to say exceptional, but he played above his pay grade last season. I think he went in, did a great job where he had to be. He was a backup, came in and just got the job done. They obviously got Gardner Minshew he looks like a guy straight out of Pirates of the Caribbean this offseason. I think he's also been a guy that's exceptional at coming in, mentoring, filling up a role if he needs to. Their quarterback play should be just fine this year. Running back, obviously a big loss of Josh Jacobs, but I think they have some solid guys there. I like Zamir White a lot. I was a big fan of him coming out of Georgia. I think their offense will be okay. Lost Hunter Renfro, lost some other guys in that receiver room. Devontae Adams probably a guy that's not going to be there for too long. But they go out and they run a 2 tight end package now. 2 very good tight ends. Shit, who was it? Brock, Brock Bowers, Michael Mayer. Obviously Michael Mayer from 2 years before. They got him 2 years ago in the draft. They went out this year and they got Brock Bowers. This is a team with 2 stud tight ends. You have decent quarterback play and you run that package well. That's a nice offense right there. They could get some stuff rolling with that offense. A sneaky good offense. And could they make a playoff? Probably not, but if they come out and snag a spot, why not? Why not us? All right, Logan, talk about Brian Callahan.
Brian Callahan. So he was the OC at and for the Bengals, you said, right?
Yep.
Okay.
We'll just switch over to Discord once this runs out, I guess.
Switch over to Discord. How much longer do we have?
7 minutes and 30 seconds. So go. Good.
Why do I have to go next? I don't even know.
You want me to
I'll, I'll go with Brian.
Yes.
I'll do it.
Yeah. You just bounce off of him, Logan. We can all bounce off of him.
Okay. Okay.
Okay,
I can do
so
that.
Brian Callahan's coming in. He's like he was the OC for the Bengals last season, and I think he's getting put in like a really rough situation. The Titans they're basically setting themselves up for rebuild. They've got rid of their past two best players, AJ Brown and Derrick Henry, recently. So the
And Kevin
offense is,
Byard.
yeah, they've like lost a lot of their players. So I'm guessing they're going to rebuild. So you're a rookie head coach going into a team that's expecting to be getting rebuilded. You got a lot of, to show to see where you can put the team at to get better.
Yeah,
See, they still have Will Levis, they have Tony Pollard, still Calvin Ridley, DeAndre Hopkins, Tyler Boyd. So it's like they still have people to work with. Their depth though looks very concerning. So I do agree that he does need to focus on a rebuild, but as a rookie OC, or oh fuck.
spit it out, buddy.
Rookie as a rookie head coach, I don't know. He's not playing an easy situation.
Yeah, I think Will Levis shows a lot of promise. I think his quarterback, first year going in as a head coach, you have a quarterback that exceeded expectations last year. I think Will Levis is a guy, he's starting obviously week 1. He can go in, get some jobs done. The offense does not look bad at all. Like you mentioned, Tony Pollard got out and signed him. They also went out and signed Calvin Ridley. They went out, they got their guy. There's definitely some key pieces for Will Levis to work with. And he's on his redemption arc. Obviously, his girlfriend cheated on him with Morgan Wallen. So I think he can go out and he can make some noise this season. I wouldn't be surprised if the Titans go out and they exceed more expectations this season, put up a couple wins on the board, and who knows how they're looking towards December, January.
Yeah, I like the Titans, yeah, like y'all said, but I just think that Tony is a great running back too. I don't think Tony can fill running back one spot there and in Tennessee. And Boyd is he's a wide receiver too, not a starter. But you got D Hop, and D Hop's he's getting old. He's falling down. He's going into the roughs. So I don't know. I don't really like the Titans situation this season.
Yeah, the situation's a little rough, but that receiver room's not bad. It's not bad at all. They got a couple key depth pieces. Yeah, like you said, I don't think there's a true wide receiver one on that squad, but rotational pieces, move some in the slot, run some around. I think they could start to get a feel again. I agree with you though. I don't think they're going to be where they need to be at all.
Whoever we
I think
got.
that's all the coaches. Did we even talk about Jim Harbaugh? Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we're the first.
Talked about Dan Quinn. We didn't talk about Dave Canales, Panthers coach.
It's the Panthers.
Mhm. Yeah.
When did you get those glasses? When did you get those glasses?
Dude, I don't even know.
I didn't even notice you get those glasses. But Dave Canales to the Panthers, that's going to be a rough one to watch. I'm going to keep it short and simple. I'm just going to be blunt. The Panthers are going to be a rough team to watch this season. If you think Dave Canales, first-year head coach, coming in and they're turning this squad around like Brian Daboll did in 2021 and leading them to a playoff, a divisional round, you're wrong. The Panthers are I would be surprised if they got more than 5 wins this season. And I'm surprised Logan still has more glasses to switch on, honestly. But I just don't see it. Even with your country boy, Xavier Legette, what am I looking at on the left side of my monitor right now? Even with Xavier Legette, Adam Thielen, Miles Sanders, Bryce Young, defensive pieces, 5 wins is my cap for this team this season.
Yeah.
I don't see it getting much better than that.
I concur.
I'm glad you concur, Logan. All right, segment 2, viewer hot takes. This first hot take comes in from Gray, at GraysonW83 on Instagram. He said Randall Cobb is a top 25 receiver of all time. He said could have been a top 25 receiver of all time. So he has high praise on Randall Cobb. I know, Connor, that you do not like this take in particular, so I have a little challenge for you. I want you to name 25 receivers right now better than Randall Cobb.
All right. So the Randall Cobb situation, yeah. I can name 25 receivers that are not as that are way better than Randall Cobb. So I'm gonna start with the oldies. We got Randy Moss, Jerry Rice, Larry Fitzgerald, Andre Johnson, Marvin Harrison, Terrell Owens, Chad Oko, Joe Cinco,
We'll give
Odell
it to
Beckham,
it's the effort.
Odell, Julio Jones, D Hop,
Julio.
Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. Dude, I want to put this guy up there because Garrett Wilson. You want to give it to me?
I'm talking about OT.
Not yet. I
Dude.
wouldn't give it to you yet. Nope.
All right, not yet. All right. Tyreek Hill,
Yep.
Stephon Diggs, Cooper Kupp.
Yep.
Team.
Let me think. Prime Jarvis Landry.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Use the Dolphins against me. I'll take it.
Michael Thomas. His prime years, he was one of the best.
Yeah.
What am I at? 22.
No, you're at 17.
Oh, okay.
8 more.
You can name 8 more.
Yeah, I
8
can.
more.
Yeah, I can. I don't think I said Calvin Johnson on this list yet.
Nope.
I don't think
No.
Okay, and then we got Julian Edelman.
Yeah, I'd give it to
Yeah.
This is really good. For some reason I can't think of like I did. Okay.
I'm trying to think of who you didn't name.
I don't think he named. Did he say Jerry Rice?
Yeah.
I don't think he said it this time.
He said that was like one of his first.
No, I don't think I did either.
He didn't.
You might
No, he
All
didn't.
right, so 20.
Jerry Rice. We're at 20. Jerry Rice. Then I think we got Debo is a better receiver.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. All right. Ready? I'm about to go on a list because I actually know this receiving core good. DK Metcalf's better.
Yeah.
Doug Baldwin was better. Tyler Lockett's better. Okay. That's 3 Seahawks right there.
Say
One more.
I need one more player.
Baldwin.
Need one more.
Doug Baldwin. Doug Baldwin.
Oh yeah. Throw for the 25th one. I want you to throw out just the most random, underappreciated receiver you can think.
Oh, all right. It's a good question, yo.
25th one. 25th one has to be.
It has to be out there, bro.
It has to be a great poll.
It's got to be out there.
It has to be a great poll.
Hell yeah.
All right, T.Y. Hilton.
I'll take that. That's a great poll. That's a great poll.
That's 25. That was really hard. But he's
did
easily
hit
not
25.
25. It might have took me a little bit, but that's off the dome. If you look it up, you know easily.
I like the TY poll.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Second, there you go, Gray. Debunked. Randall Cobb is not a top 25 receiver all the time. The second hot take we have, we can also easily debunk. The Tennessee Titans are going to the Super Bowl. Riley, I'm sorry.
We're gonna debunk this one.
Riley, if you're watching, just click off. No, they're not. No.
Rookie head coach.
Yeah.
They don't have depth. Like
The defense is weak.
if they had a 5 times better offense, 5 times better defense, a non-rookie head coach, and a better starting quarterback, I would consider it.
They have good pieces. They just don't have the right amount of pieces.
No chemistry. No super big names.
They just lost their like face of the franchise running back. They just lost. Like
Titans like one of those teams. I'm like, I probably wouldn't even pick a fantasy player from that team because they're just so you don't know what's going to go on with that.
So up and down. There's 3 young franchise quarterbacks in that division besides Will Levis. And those 3 quarterbacks are in a way better situation than Will Levis. Anthony Richardson is in a good, and I like the Nick Sirianni, not Nick Sirianni. Whoa, I like the Colts situation there for Anthony Richardson. I like the Jaguars situation for Trevor Lawrence. Doug Peterson's gonna have that team looking really good this year, and I love the CJ Stroud situation. Oh wait, he's a player, went out rookie of the year, took that frankly, abysmal Texans team to a
Mm-hmm.
winning a wild card game big over the Browns. You have D'Amico Ryans, who I'm big on as a head coach, going into his second year, I believe. And you go out and get more pieces like Joe Mixon, Stephon Diggs. You re-sign Dalton Schultz, re-sign Nico Collins. The Texans are winning that division by a lot. They're securing a playoff bid. The Titans are finishing.
Are you
last in
shaking
that
your head,
division.
Connor?
Stephon Diggs is gonna make CJ Stroud look worse.
You think?
Yeah, that's my hot take right there. You just got my hot take.
Okay.
He's gonna make him look worse.
What?
I'm telling you.
My hot take last season was the 49ers are going to fall off completely, and they went and almost won the Super Bowl. So,
Yeah.
yeah. But, okay, we'll look out for it. We'll come back to this. We'll look
Dude,
out
I'm
for it.
telling you, Stephon Diggs is a crybaby. He's gonna make CJ Stroud worse.
Mm.
That, or they're going to utilize him in that offense differently than they did in Buffalo. But I don't know. Do you think D'Amico Ryans is going to put up with that more than? I don't know. I think D'Amico Ryans isn't going to put up with it as much as Sean McDermott did.
Yeah, we'll see.
I don't know, I just think in Buffalo there wasn't really enough options to sit Stephon Diggs. I think in Houston I can name 6 good receivers on that roster right now.
I mean, yeah, but he's gonna have to fight. He doesn't like fighting.
Then
He thinks
honestly,
wherever he goes.
I think if he brings that crybaby mentality there and they sort of see that weight distribution, that shift in that offense, the locker room, the team morale, I honestly think the Texans organization is going to deal with it. I don't think they're just going to sit back and let him, cry. Or I think they'll put their foot down on him. I don't think he'll get cut or traded. I just think he'll see less field time if he starts to tend to act that way. And I think then he'll really start crying. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I definitely can see where. I mean, you're a Bills fan. You have experience with this. I can see it. I can see where you're coming from with that.
You should have caught that ball.
Yeah. I mean, he's not Justin Jefferson.
Easily.
Third and final hot take we have. We have a fourth, but we're not going to get into the fourth hot take. The third and final hot take we have. The Patriots are going to not win. The Patriots are going to make the playoffs. Now, these are all hot takes for a reason, because all these hot takes have been boiling, and they have all sucked. I'm sorry, but these are all like 10 out of 10 hot takes right here, and all of them are going to be wrong completely by the end of the year. Sorry, Hayden. Patriots are not making the playoffs.
No way. They have a new head coach. I
mean, maybe
Drake
in the
May
bracket. Yeah, it does.
But the thing is,
the Titans
from
won the
what we've
Super
seen,
Bowl.
Drake May isn't going as they thought he was gonna go. Like, they don't have the pieces to make the playoffs.
Maybe
I feel like
the world that the Titans are winning the Super Bowl, maybe the Patriots sneak into the playoffs. But in the real world,
yeah.
No way.
this is
There's
real
no
life.
way.
It's In
There's no
reality, it's not happening.
You're in a division where the 3 teams above you, like the Jets, Dolphins, Bills, can finish with
So far above.
positive records. I don't even see the Patriots finishing with a positive record this season. They're gonna lose almost every game in their division. Probably they might sneak an easy one out against the Bills.
I don't see them winning a
It
single
always
division game.
happens.
I don't
It
see them
always
winning a
happens to
single
the
division
Bills,
game, bro.
but they're in a hard division. AFC is a very good division. You're not going to be one of the best teams in the AFC with that roster and a new coach. It's not going to happen.
I don't see him winning more than 5 games.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
how
Drake
it's
May
big.
could be a superstar, and I feel like they can even they'll bear, if anything, they'll barely.
I agree completely with that statement. Right there. I agree completely with that statement.
It
Yes.
froze.
I
It froze
completely
on me.
agree.
Forgot what I said. They're not going to
I
be able to sneak
agree.
in the playoffs, even if Drake May is
No.
top quarterback.
Okay.
Maybe in Fantasy Island, but yeah. That's final segment. Sneaky NFL playoff teams. The teams that when playoffs comes around, December, January, they sneak in the back door. You don't even notice them until you look at the final bracket and you realize they snagged a 7 or a 6 seed and they're playing against the Chiefs and Arrowhead. There's a good amount of them. Some honorable mentions. honorable mentions. Who are they? Who are the honorable mentions, Logan?
Bears and Chargers.
There you
Bears,
go.
they picked up Caleb Williams. Like,
They
come
did.
on, man.
In case you
They
guys
they
have
lost
been,
Justin Fields, but I mean, but it's Justin Fields, man. Come on.
oh, we'll get into that later. We'll talk about what you just said at a later time because I want to know where you're going with that. But yeah, I mean, in case you've been living under a rock, they went out and got their hopefully franchise guy, Caleb Williams. Chargers went out and got their head coach, Jim Harbaugh, national champion. I think those two teams make a great argument to make the playoffs this season. I think they're very respectable teams, and I think they'll put up positive records. Wouldn't be surprised if they're in a bracket by the end of the season at all.
Yeah. I mean, I could go on about Caleb Williams. I could yap about Caleb Williams for a minute, but it's a situation where I like it. I feel like they could sneak into the playoffs, but I feel like they'll for sure be like a future playoff team, like a set playoff team. This year, they could definitely sneak in if Caleb Williams shows up to his potential. But like we've seen with these first overall pick quarterbacks, there's not much for them. I mean, they come from college where there's the best offensive line you could ever ask for, and you get put in a situation in Chicago. I mean, I could see it though.
Yeah, maybe just like I see what you're talking about, like an adjustment year. You get a lot of new pieces, build some chemistry this season, come out stronger next season. I could definitely see the Bears just cruising to an 8 or 9 win season, getting adjusted, yeah. I could definitely see that. Some team we're gonna start off moderate, not too hot, and we're gonna end right back in the fantasy island we were just living in by the end of this segment. Start off the New York Jets, moderate, a team that arguably makes a great argument to be in the playoffs. They have minus 154 odds. Those are good odds. DraftKings gives them 154 to make the playoffs. They're sitting in the top 10 range to make the playoffs overall in the league. They have the 4th best ranked roster in the whole NFL. I mean, so this is a team, they have stars, we know this. I think that Aaron Rodgers to Garrett Wilson connection, I said this last offseason, obviously before the Aaron Rodgers whole 4-snap fiasco. Aaron Rodgers to Garrett Wilson is going to be the best connection in the league this year. You're going a veteran, 3-time NFL MVP, Super Bowl winning quarterback, one of the best quarterbacks of all time, definitely this generation's 2nd best quarterback, throwing to I would say, a top 3 future receiver in Garrett Wilson, absolute stud. That's going to be a crazy connection. 4th best ranked roster, they have Breece Hall, one of the best young running backs in the NFL. He's a stud. I love Breece Hall. He reminds me of a faster Nick Chubb. That's how I compare Breece Hall. But they're a playoff hungry team. They have not been in the playoffs in forever. They haven't won a playoff game in 13 years.
That's long.
We were just starting to talk last time they won a playoff game. We were 4 years old when they won a playoff game. Actually, I don't know when babies started to talk. I want to be a broadcaster, not a gynecologist or whatever. But 4 years old last time they won a playoff game. What is so funny? I don't even know what a gynecologist is. It just sounded right.
It's a vagina doctor.
Okay, not a gynecologist, but what? That's not the point. That's not the point. 13 seasons without a playoff win is absurd. Yeah, I mean I'm just gonna stop talking now because I just keep digging myself in the hole. But Jets, I think, make a great argument to make the playoffs this season.
All right. Do you want to move on to the next?
I'll talk about the Jets for a second.
Okay.
I like the Jets situation this season. Garrett Wilson, like, he's had to deal with Zach Wilson for his whole career, and he puts up amazing numbers. Now you have Aaron Rodgers healthy coming in, and he's going to throw the rock to Garrett Wilson. I mean, they're in my division, but I still want to see them lose, but they're going to be good this year. And that electric defense they have, like, their defense is so young, and it's a fun defense to watch. You can't lie. Like Sauce Gardner and everyone else on that team. One team to watch, to be honest now.
What are the odds the Jets go out and draft Shedeur Sanders to replace Aaron Rodgers this offseason?
I don't think Shedeur Sanders is a good quarterback.
We'll get into that. That'll be a later time.
What?
We're going to save ourselves some content.
Okay.
Here. All right,
right.
Logan, you have anything to add on to the Jets?
No, not particularly.
I don't. Yeah, it's a pretty safe blanket.
It is.
Pretty. This next team, we start to step it up a little bit. The Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
Pittsburgh Steelers went out. They got two respectable quarterbacks in Russell Wilson, Justin Fields. Got Justin Fields for a bag of Fritos Lay's chips. I think the Steelers are a team that could sneak into a playoff for sure. The AFC it's a good AFC, but when you start to get to that 7 range, that 7th seed in the playoffs, that's really up for grabs between a couple teams that come into mind. Dolphins are a team that come into mind for me. Chargers are a team that come into mind for me. Steelers, maybe. Yeah, I wouldn't really. Maybe the Browns snag up that 7th seed.
For sure.
They have plus 160 odds to make the playoffs, so we're definitely taking a step up here in the hotness ranking. 16th best roster, dead middle, and they've gone 7 seasons without a playoff win. I'm not even going to try to make an analogy here this time, but I think they're a team that could do it for sure. Russell Wilson, obviously Super Bowl winning quarterback, MVP quarterback, just a stud. We do not have to listen to the painful Broncos country let's ride anymore from them. Haven't heard any cringy pickup lines, so maybe that is a sign of promise there in Pittsburgh. The quarterback room, if you have Justin Fields returning kicks, I think they're a lock to make the playoffs.
I think it's like the addition of these two, like Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, they already had wide receivers like George Pickens, Van Jefferson. Like they didn't have bad wide receivers at all. It's just they had Kenny Pickett throwing them the rock. They also have Najee Harris. They don't have bad offensive weapons. They just needed a better quarterback than Kenny Pickett to, be there to take the snaps. So the addition of Justin Fields, who can move it, who's a mobile quarterback, and then we have Russell Wilson who can sling it. Like, come on, man.
Also thinking about the Steelers, something that just popped up into my mind. I don't know what the Barstool clip, Troy Fattanu, but they went out and drafted one of the best O-line in this draft in Troy Fattanu. It's not Troy Fattanu, for whoever needs to hear that. Troy Fattanu. Russell Wilson's protected. Yeah. Their O-line there, I like the O-line they're building there. Plus, not to mention, next season, Russell Wilson's under a 1 year. I don't see him re-signing him after this season. Justin Fields is sitting back, learning from a quarterback that is more mobile than not. He uses some of his strengths to his advantage, strengths that remind me similar to what Justin Fields could be if he tapped into his full potential. You learn behind him, Super Bowl MVP winning quarterback for a whole season. You know you're going to step up and be the starter next season. Justin Fields can develop so much in that offense. He's getting chemistry with receivers in practice, making reps, everything like this. He could be very, very dangerous next season for the Steelers after learning behind Russell Wilson for a whole season. I think next season, the Steelers team is going to be a lot more scary than people are going to give him credit for. I think Justin Fields could be a QB1, a scary QB1 at that in Pittsburgh.
On the other side of the ball, they also picked up Patrick Queen from the Ravens, dude. Come on, man.
That's a big pickup.
True.
That's a big pickup.
Come on, man.
What I like about the Steelers, it's like you said, they're a sneaky team. I feel like they've always been the sneaky team for the past years. Mike Tomlin hasn't had a losing season like ever, I don't think, unless it was recently. But they're always that sneaky team. The Bills beat them first round last year. They went into the playoffs with Kenny Pickett was their starter last year. Mm-hmm. And what I want to say about the Steelers, my favorite part about the Steelers offense is George Pickens. I feel like with a quarterback like Russell Wilson, George Pickens is going to be a very, very scary receiver in Pittsburgh.
I remember we were covering training camp last year. We were glazing that catch. That catch was a
catch. It came up in my memories.
He just does it. He does it so effortlessly. He does it week after week. I'm gonna stop the glaze too hard here.
He has aura.
George Pickens, but he has. I would say George Pickens has max aura. He's. The step up. We're gonna continue to climb a little bit here. We're taking another step. The Seahawks.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it.
Seattle Seahawks. They were in it. They were in it 2 years ago. They didn't miss out by a lot last season at all. NFC is a lot weaker than the AFC. I think that's a very fair statement. That's not even an opinion. I think that's a fact. In their division, it's a good division. I think the Cardinals will be a lot better this season. I think the Rams are going to be a decent team like they always are this season. I think the Seahawks are going to finish second in that NFC West, and I wouldn't be surprised if they snagged a wild card spot in the NFC West. The thing that scares me is Mike McDonald coming in and replacing Pete Carroll. We know Pete Carroll's still in the building. They have plus 176 odds to make the playoffs. 17th ranked best offense, so they're just one step behind the Steelers. 5 seasons without a playoff run. Again, no analogy. I'm not going to dig another hole. But last time they won a playoff game, it was like prime OG Fortnite. So it was Fortnite World Cup last time they won a playoff game. Can they recreate a run similar to the Russell Wilson era? I don't know, but
They have the pieces. They have the pieces.
I think they do. The thing I love about the Seahawks, Quandre Diggs might be gone. I'm not really 100% sure on that, so I'm not going to mention his name as much. Their secondary, I love their secondary. I love Seahawks secondary. Tariq Woolen, stud. Devon Witherspoon, stud. There's some other guy. Lance Boykin, stud.
Kobe Bryant.
They still have Quandre Diggs.
Bryant. Lance Boykin's glove right here. Logan and I, we know about that Georgia Southern game.
Yes, sir.
They still do have Quandre Diggs.
Yes, I believe so. I just looked it up.
And they bossed up. They got rid of Jamal Adams. So I really like this defense. I like that secondary a lot. I also think that offense has a lot to show. They went out. They got Sam Howell as a backup. Geno Smith. They're going to make some quarterback moves this offseason. Next offseason, for sure. The receivers are very, very talented. They have Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf, Jackson Smith, and Jigba.
They have Kenneth Walker in the backfield. Like, come on.
I've heard rumors Kenneth Walker is also going to take a big step up this season for the Seahawks. So this is a team all around with great pieces. First-year head coach, I believe he's an offensive-minded head coach as well with great offensive pieces. A team that's ready to take a step up, and I could easily see him making a wild card here.
I don't see anything wrong with that take. I feel like Seahawks are in a great position, you know?
I think they could easily go out and snag a wild card spot. So I think having them at number 3 for the moderate, that's fair. This next team, all I know, yeah, Connor's a little mute over there, but it's fine. All I know, the 5 team, the 5th team on this list is where is the water reaches 212 degrees. But right now we're gonna step to like 175 degrees. We're cranking up the oven a little bit.
It's still hot, bro. It's just a hot take, but I mean it's not bad.
The Indianapolis Colts. In an AFC,
Anthony Richardson's not injured anymore.
In a very tough AFC. Anthony Richardson returning from his shoulder injury. He's going to be the week 1 starter. They have plus 138 odds. They have better odds than the Seahawks, but they're in a way tougher conference than the Seahawks. They're in a tougher division than the Seahawks. I mean, we mentioned the franchise quarterbacks earlier in that division. That's going to be a division for the future. Ton of studs in there, ton of talent, ton of young talent in that division. They have the 22nd best roster in the NFL, so we're starting to sink a little bit.
There.
Yeah, and they went 6 seasons without a playoff run, so they're more prime OG Fortnite than the Seahawks were. But the Seahawks, not the Seahawks, the Colts. I don't know. I just don't know.
They picked up Joe Flacco though, so they have a secondary quarterback at least, you know?
I mean, yeah. Gardner Minshew came out and balled out last season for him too. I think the Shane Steichen team there in Indianapolis is very, very good. I love Shane Steichen as a head coach. I love Anthony Richardson as a quarterback. I do. Jonathan Taylor at running back, can't go wrong there. One of my favorite
Junior, Josh Downs. Come on, man.
Not a lot of people know this, but one of my favorite non-Dolphins in the league is Michael Pittman Jr. I love Michael Pittman Jr. and he's a stud there for that offense. He's been great. He got drafted 2021, might have been 2020 out of USC. He's just been great ever since then. We've seen multiple clips off of his YouTube, Michael Pittman, but I really like that team there. I think they're building a great team, and I think they could sneak into a wild card spot, maybe surprise some people this season, and just make some noise. They're in Indianapolis. Dolphins play them in Indianapolis this season. That'll be a fun game to watch. I think they're a team that has potential to go in, win upside of 10 games, which could be enough in this AFC, depends on how other people play, to sneak into that first round, get a tough matchup, but making the playoffs is more of a morale boost than anything. So I could see the Colts coming in, snagging a spot here. Not too outlandish, but it's starting to tinker on that fantasy island world. I think there is a reality this season the Colts get into the playoffs.
I think the the Colts are in like the division, like the South, where the Texans, Jaguars, the Colts, and
Titans.
BROGAN. Titans. So I feel like that's like one of the divisions where it's like it comes down to like the games that you play in your division. Like those teams always finish so
Really?
close together. So like the Jaguars, Texans, Colts, and the Titans, they have to fight. Like so, I feel like whoever wins that division is always like a mid like well-rounded team, but they won their division because they outlived the other three teams. And the Colts have great pieces. Like if Anthony, I really liked how Anthony Richard played before he got injured. I feel like he was really good. And then you got if Jonathan Taylor comes back and plays like how he played 2 years ago, and then you got Michael Pittman. I feel like they have a really good chance to win the division and make the playoffs.
I feel like that whole division, they're just playing like imperialism over there on Madden. But I could definitely see it. They were one game off. I mean, they were that week 18 game against the Texans away from stealing the division last season.
Yeah.
I mean, it was literally they were a drop screen pass away from making that division, from making that wild card game and winning that division. They are always neck and neck. I agree.
Those teams, those four teams are like the teams that are like, I would expect them to have a tie in their record. Like, I don't know what it is, but when I see those teams, I'm like, dude, they should have a tie in the record. Like they tied with someone. Like it's something with those four. Yeah. They're so tight.
It's just like the NFC East. How you look at a graphic. The past 10 years, it's been a different winner. The past 10 years, it's just whoever. It's up for the taking. That division's up for the taking completely. That's why I think the Colts are not outlandish at all to see January in a playoff game. Maybe going to Arrowhead, going to Baltimore, going to one of these tough places to play wildcard game.
The East is turning into that too. Like I feel like anybody could win the East. I mean, the AFC East, obviously.
I think
it's
honestly it's not. I love that statement, Logan. But I honestly think it's a lot of people overlook early weeks, like week 1. I honestly believe some of the most important games are week 1 through 9. You go back, the Dolphins always play the Bills better in September because at this point, again, this is a fact. The Dolphins play better in warmer weather. It's just a fact at this point.
Weather matters.
Weather does matter.
Yes.
Dolphin Stadium is built to fluctuate 30-ish degrees for the home side. We always play the Bills better in September. You take an early matchup in September against the Bills. You go down, you lose to them, you split the series. It's not as big of a deal. If we lose our September game, because that's our game to win. If we lose that, we're in trouble going down the stretch. Early weeks matter when it comes to playoff ranking, comes to all this ranking.
Definitely.
That's why teams like the Colts, who are going to finish so close, and we know they're going to finish so close in their division, need to win their early division matchups. So that's really what it just comes down to. Okay. We turned up the oven a little bit.
Last one?
Here's the oven now. We're at setting 8. Mom bumped into the oven. It's on full heat. 212 degrees. The Tennessee Titans. Number 5 making the playoffs. The Tennessee Titans.
Oh, God.
We're staying in the division. We're not leaving. We're staying right here in the AFC South. We're here to stay. A division to look out for this season, the Tennessee Titans. How do we feel about the Tennessee Titans? I don't. Everyone's silent because we don't even know what to think about this.
I've shamed the Titans a lot this episode. I feel like the Titans have always came out in each segment for some reason. So I like it, but I just don't know about like the rookie head coach situation. They could, like, I'm telling you, if those pieces like Will Levis and Tony Pollard and DeAndre Hopkins and Tyler Boyd and Calvin Ridley all come together and actually play as a team, they're going to be playoff contenders for sure, especially in that division.
I completely agree. Like, they have the pieces. Dude, they have the pieces. It's just like, if they don't fall together, I don't know if they're playoff ready yet with the rookie head coach. It's I don't know if it's like realistic yet, you know?
I mean, they have pretty funny odds, plus 420 to make the playoffs. So, again, Brian Callahan, first-year head coach. No chemistry in that team. A division that's not really. We just spent 5 minutes talking about it. It's not really a sound division. There's no clear-cut winner. Does Brian Callahan want to come out and have his team just completely dominate this AFC South? I mean, that's obviously the goal every year, but is he going to execute that? Who knows? This team also was around the time the Fortnite World Cup, 5 seasons. They beat the Ravens, their historic season. Beat the Ravens in that divisional. Derrick Henry, middle of the back stiff arm. I believe that was Earl Thomas, maybe. I don't even. 25th best ranked roster in the NFL. They're almost
Bottom.
Rock
in the
bottom,
bottom
bro.
quarter.
Rock bottom.
They're in the bottom quarter of the league. It's just the preseason polls and rankings are rough for the Titans. They're just rough. No one expects them to do anything this season. They expect a little chemistry, get your chemistry together this season, go out, win a couple games, get the fan base bumping a little bit, go out, get a better draft pick. What are the odds Brian Callahan says, screw that, we're taking this division. We're making a playoff game. We're overachieving like we did in 2019. We're taking everything. We're not holding back, and we're going out, and we're making a statement here in Tennessee. Nissan Stadium, fill up the seats. We're rocking this season. I see them finishing last in the division. They're not making the playoffs in my eyes.
Last?
Yeah.
I feel like
Okay.
the reason like the polls are so low, this is why it is a sneaky team. Like if you want to bet on a team not to put too much money on, the Titans are that team because they could definitely pull together and get chemistry and win their division, I feel like. But as of right now, they're bottom of that division.
I think a safe ranking is Texans, Colts, Jaguars, Titans. The Titans are just a team that they're just so unsure and so all over the place. I can't put them in the playoffs. I can't see them in the playoffs. I can barely see them winning more than 10 games.
Yeah.
If they even reach double digits.
I could see everyone in that division going 9-8 if that was possible.
Every single one?
Yeah.
I could see a 9-8 draw across the board because it's like those division games are going to play so close, and then the non-division games are going to be 50-50. They play really good teams out of division. They play really bad teams out of division. The AFC South is literally it's like the middle child. The NFL, it's like the NFL's middle child. They just let them do whatever they want as long as they're home by the end of the night in bed, not dead or like they just let them. They just do whatever. They're all over the place. They're always just getting into mischievous.
Yeah. But you gotta remember the time that they were just like all bad. Like they at one point they're pretty bad teams.
All bad, dude.
It's just it's such a weird division. It's so weird. I mean, you can say the same thing about the AFC. You can make an argument for every division. They're just so weird.
I think that's just like seeing teams like since it's a new generation. I feel like a football is coming really soon that we're just seeing new power teams and new middle teams.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that whole conference just whole division sort of floats towards the middle right there.
Yeah.
So my stance on this is I think Jets make the playoffs. I think Steelers maybe. Seahawks, I think they could make the playoffs.
Yes.
I think the Colts could make the playoffs.
Yes.
And I think the Titans will not make the playoffs. Mm-hmm. I don't think the Titans are seeing the playoffs for
You
another
do?
3 years.
Do you think they will or won't?
The Titans?
No, I thought Connor was shaking his head yes to the Titans.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, you were agreeing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those 2 honorable mentions, though, the Bears and the Chargers, I think they both have a great chance to make the playoffs.
The Bears, or no, I feel like the Chargers could more so than the Bears. The Chargers last year, they had the weapons and everything. It's just go coaching. It's definitely the coaching.
I think the Bears are going to be sneaky good. They have one of the best corners in the NFL. Didn't even crack the top 100, which in itself is just completely disrespectful. Jalen Johnson, one of my favorite DBs. He was on my 5 underappreciated players list. I think he is going to show out. He has potential to be CB1 in the NFL this season. He's just that good. And I think Caleb Williams, you draft a generational talent at QB. Let's just call it what it is. No one, maybe Trevor Lawrence, got that much hype coming out of college and was a clear-cut first-round pick from the time they graduated to just when they got picked. And then you have DJ Moore, a very good receiver. Keenan Allen, a receiver that's been consistent when not injured, jumping off the charts for years. You also have DeAndre Swift, who, he played great when he was in Detroit, wherever he was playing, Philadelphia last season. It's just a team with so much talent and a good coach, frankly, Matt Eberflus, to anchor this ship, to sort of steer this ship. I think this is a ship that could cruise right into the playoffs. In their division, I think they could go out and win the division. I don't think the Lions are very, very good. Are they going to repeat that success from last year? I think they'll get close to it. I don't think they're going to mimic it completely. The Packers, Jordan Love's one of the best quarterbacks in the league, in my opinion. I think the Packers will be right up there. I think the Packers are going to go out and win the division this season. If not, I think it's going to be similar to the AFC South, where you have 3 teams right up in contention for that first place all the way through January. I think it's going to be a very fun division. I think the Bears are going to make – I see them, honestly, locked as a 7 seed going into the playoffs. Lions 6. It's a situation like the AFC North in recent years, where they put 3 teams into the playoffs year after year. I think the NFC North is putting 3 teams into the playoffs this season.
That's in my opinion, the best division in the NFC for sure is the North. In my opinion, it used to be the West when it was Cardinals, Seahawks, Rams, 49ers. They were all great for one season, like when the Rams finally got good. But now I think it has transferred over to the North. I think any of those teams could win their division. I really like the Packers too, by the way.
I like it. Yep. I think that's probably gonna be the most fun division in football this season, for sure. I think the NFC North, and then right behind it, AFC East. AFC East is gonna put 3 teams in the playoffs as well. I think that's gonna be a very fun division.
I feel like NFL is just getting so, like, all the teams are getting really equal. So it's really hard to say. It's like, I don't know.
Honestly, it's recently. I don't know if it's just that we're growing up more, so we can appreciate it more. It's been a lot more fun to follow and watch than it has. In previous
for
years.
sure.
I get way more excited waking up. NFL Red Zone, waking up and watching Red Zone from the time it comes on to the time it ends I look forward to that every single week. I just can't wait. We're close too. We're like 4 Sundays out.
Yep.
Oh, I cannot wait.
Fantasy football?
I cannot wait.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I cannot wait. We are so close to football. Once football gets going, it's just fall. I mentioned this in a video recently. Fall is like the season. It's just, you got college football. You got, not even. We're not going to start there. You got high school football, varsity games, just overall student section, great environments. Switch over the next day, morning, you go home, you go to college. You go to Waffle House after a varsity football game. You go home, you go to sleep. You wake up at 9, 10 a.m. You flick on College Game Day, watch complete slate of college football games, go to sleep, wake up, set your fantasy lineup, watch Good Morning Football, watch Fantasy Live, watch Red Zone all day, watch Sunday Night Football, go to school Monday, come home, watch Monday Night Football. It's
a beautiful repeat. Like, it's the best ever.
Not to mention, it's in a season where the weather's perfect. You can start wearing stuff this, like sweater weather. You got pumpkin spice. I sound like a white girl at Starbucks right now. You got pumpkin spice lattes. You got pumpkin patches. It's Halloween. It's just a great season overall. It's one of the best.
I don't know about me, but ever since NCAA came out, like, I've never been a really big fan about watching college football and, like, having really love for my team like I do Buffalo Bills. But NCAA 25 coming out is making me so excited to watch college football this year, because I feel like I actually learned stuff from the game. Now I know players. I know players' names. I know, like, how the divisions work. I know how bowl game works now just because I played my dynasty. Like, I'm actually excited to watch college football this year.
It is so funny that you said that. In the college football video, the the college football 25 video I made, I said it connects fans to the game more, to college football more, and it just gets you more excited.
Yes, dude.
That's literally, that's perfect. That's exactly. It builds a sense of like connection. It's like just you're like you're in it. It's just football, baby, football.
Being a fan
football.
that's been to both NFL game and a college game. So I went to like the Miami Hurricanes and UNC game, like I said. That was the best atmosphere of sports I've ever witnessed in my life. So NFL has like some competition for me about college football because that atmosphere is actually amazing.
The college football atmosphere is just so much more. It's so much more there than it is NFL or any other level.
Like even going down to like the Sun Belt. Like I'm gonna let Logan explain the game day experience at Georgia Southern because I've been yapping.
Oh yeah.
But Logan, how was that atmosphere? Just like in the student
Oh
section
my
at
god.
Coastal?
So yeah, dude. So at Coastal, a smaller. I mean, yeah, it's a smaller D1 school. It's in this right there, baby. Right there. It's in the Sun Belt. It's not like it's not an SEC. It's not any like crazy conference either. And it's so loud, and it's like you feel like you're actually in like you get lost in like you get drowned out. It's so loud. It's a crazy experience, you know. And everybody there is there for football, you know.
Yeah.
It's like not even just during game time. It's like before game time. Everyone's there hours from like the morning until like 9 o'clock all the way to game time. People are there tailgating, getting ready for the big game. You know.
Yeah.
It's a great atmosphere.
High-fiving
Last season we went tailgating with Brogans. Oh yeah. We were high-fiving random college kids. Yeah. And then one game we were tailgating with Brogan's parents, and like we were in the back corner, but there was still a good bit of people. You know. It's just still crazy.
Great atmosphere.
There's nothing like football. Like it's just.
I need to experience Buffalo Bills tailgate before they get rid of Highmark.
Yeah, because like, are you going to the new stadium? You gotta go to the new stadium once. Like,
I got to, but I need to see the old stadium before they shut it down. I've never been there before.
I honestly, when we get older, it's hard to do now. When we get older, I think we should make it a point to visit NFL stadiums. That's always been something. That's
I'll be there.
Something like
I'll be there.
I'm so down.
I want to visit every single major sport. I don't even care about just football.
I agree with what this guy just said. Look at him. He's happy. Look at him. Yeah, I agree.
Dude, I want to move to Jacksonville area. So like anyway, it's like right there, Miami. You got Jacksonville. You know.
Dude,
Logan, we've talked about this off stream. Moving to Jacksonville, getting an apartment, and like splitting rent, and then living right next to the Jaguar Stadium, living 8 hours from home, 8 hours from Miami, 8 hours from Atlanta. Like that. Like there's so much in that area. Like,
dude, I can't lie. I've been to Jacksonville. I've been to their stadium. It's not in the best area, but it was a good experience.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely not. Duval.
Oh, I can hear that. I can hear Josh Allen going, Duval. Come on now, get loud.
Josh Allen picking off Josh Allen.
That's the only thing I witnessed. I didn't even witness a touchdown when I went to my first NFL game. 6-9 final score in the 6-9
funny
final
number.
Score. Bills lose to the Jaguars 6-9.
Oh yeah.
We all need.
Dude, that was like a segment, dude. Rant.
That was a whole segment, bro.
I'm keeping it in. We need to go to a Panthers game this season because the tickets aren't even that. They're not even that bad.
I've been to Charlotte the past 3 weekends, and it's like not even a bad drive at all. Like,
so
I would do it.
No.
3.5, 4 hours.
Yeah.
We could go see.
And it's not bad at all.
Panthers play Bengals in Charlotte.
Wait, do we play Panthers this season? Brogan?
No. Mm-mm.
No. Oh,
I'm gonna wrap it up though.
All right.
That's fine with me.
All right, we ranted a little bit, but that's what football does. That's what football does to you. It's just how do you not love the sport?
Yes.
You see. Look how passionate Logan is right now. Like that's just what football does to you. If you want to be this passionate about football, make sure to subscribe to follow the BROGAN HILLMAN Show. We're all passionate about football here. Love you all very, very much. Thank you for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe. But most importantly, keep God number one. I love you all, and we are out.
Peace.
Bye-bye.